This cow's hoof almost looks like an elephant's tusk, and we're just about to fix it. The cow in this video has been living on extremely soft, boggy and peaty land here in southwest Scotland for the past 6 months. The feet you can see before you are completely natural. She has just given birth to her calf and is inside the shed for this winter for the very first time, which is why I'm here to hopefully fix these monstrosities. Now that we've removed the bulk of the excess hoof horn, we're starting to see that there are no real issues with this cow's hoof. That purplish black hoof horn you can see is not bruising or anything like it. All it is pigmentation, just coloration of the hoof horn itself. But this is not the hoof that I was worried about. The other one is the one that is absolutely huge. This back right hoof really does remind me of an elephant's tusk. It's absolutely huge, just look at it in size in relation to my hands. These feet should be around 7 centimeters long, which is the width of my hand, but in reality, they're at least double that. I use my nippers to clip away the end of these extremely overgrown toes. I could use my grinder, but because these hooves are so long, they would literally bounce and vibrate away from the disc on my grinder, meaning it's just easier to use my nippers. She begins to struggle and jostle in the crush. She really doesn't want to be restrained, and she's been separated from her calf so that I can carry out this procedure. So the quicker I get it done, the better. On a well-shaped cow's feet, the end of her toe should be around 5mm or 1/4 inch thick. This cow's hoofs are around 40mm or over 1.5 inches thick. At this stage in the trim, I'm able to take huge slices of hoof horn away with every swipe of the knife, but as we get closer to the shape and size that we're aiming for, we're going to need to be much more careful. Now that we've drastically reduced the size of these hooves, I'm in much more familiar territory, so I pick my grinder up in an effort to speed this whole process up. When cows' hooves are as grossly overgrown as this cow's were, the interior anatomy can alter, so we need to be especially careful when we get to the size that we're looking for. I want to take as much off as I possibly can to get her back to where she should be, but I need to be constantly mindful that the interior of her feet may not be as we're hoping and expecting. She's becoming more and more unsettled in the crush, so I'm keen to get this trim finished and get her out of the crush and back to her calf. But that being said, I really want to do as much for these feet as I possibly can. So I quickly finish the trim, check that every angle is as good as it can possibly be, and just look at that for a difference. We've removed at least 4 inches from this cow's foot, and although she might not feel it right now, I'm sure in an hour or two she will be very grateful for it. These are beef cows, and because they're not worked with as often as dairy cows, they are much more lively, and she for one is very keen to get back to her offspring.